When was the last time you just stopped? When was the last time you let yourself be silent and just listened to what was happening around you? The news has been at a fever pitch for so long that I'm not even sure the media understands how to tell a normal story anymore. There is news that's really important for sure, but there's just so much of it, all of it demanding our attention, that it feels difficult to sort out which news really deserves my attention and which could stand to wait a bit, or just be something I didn't need to know. In an essay she wrote during the pandemic, Pastor Nadia Bolz-Weber described how we're not designed to take it all in. Our ways of communicating have evolved way faster than our bodies ever could. We were never meant to know every headline from across the world in real time delivered to a phone or a watch. She describes us each having buckets filled with water, that we're each tasked with putting out a fire, but if we put out a fire that isn't ours, we can wind up with no water left. She argues that we can care deeply about so much, but that we risk compassion fatigue, apathy, burnout, and depression if we try to do everything ourselves. I know that a lot of people who hear these words are the kind of folks who care deeply for the world, who get up every day wanting to make a difference, and that is wonderful. But the world needs you healthy. Life is far more worthwhile if we're not burned out and only managing to get through the day on 16 cups of coffee. If we go all the time, we will burn out. If we are constantly moving and producing, if we never take time to stop, if we never honor the rest our bodies need in order to thrive, we will miss out on the God moments that permeate our lives, and we will miss out on the wonder of contemplating God's presence. Now, I am not going to pretend that my own experiences match those of Elijah, but I will say that I often have had my head down so far it's hard to take a minute, especially right now when I have clearly said yes to too many things. You might feel the same way. So, a little background. Elijah had just committed an act of war against Queen Jezebel, and he was fleeing for his life. We could argue about the ethics of the story, but that's not where I'm going with this message, so just bear with me. As far as Elijah knew, he had done the hard thing and had done what God had asked, and now he was absolutely exhausted and afraid and spent. He was done. This prophet of God, called and named by God for this vocation, was over all of it. He was so done that he wanted to die. So the first thing he did was to go into the wilderness willingly, a place many of us would not think to go when we're feeling disoriented and exhausted. It's not a safe place to be, but in the Bible, the wilderness is a place where spiritual growth and restoration happens. Think about Jesus' 40 days in the wilderness in preparation for his ministry. Elijah wasn't looking for safety, but he was looking for God. Elijah was so tired that he lay down under a tree and asked God to take his life, because perhaps that was the only solution he could imagine. But instead of answering Elijah's prayer in the way Elijah thought he wanted, God gave him sustenance. God provided him a simple meal in his time of need, and God's angel told him to get up and eat. Then Elijah, rather than springing back to action after taking a quick power nap and pounding a Red Bull, he laid down again. He slept again because he was so tired, because he needed restoration. And then, because he was hungry, God provided him with food again so that he would be able to complete his journey to Mount Horeb. Notice that God doesn't tell Elijah to get up, stop whining, and go back. God acknowledges Elijah's exhaustion and provides him with what he needs. In the same way, God provides us with a simple meal, communion, within a worship service that gives us time to pause and reflect and stop and consider how God is active in our own lives. In many ways, worship can feel like an extra thing in our lives, something we can only do if we do all these other things, or something that's taking time from the productive things we really should be doing. But just like sleep or a walk in the woods, worship is necessary just so we can ground ourselves and connect with God and with each other. It's important just because it is part of the rhythm of our lives, not because it produces anything or increases our own productivity. Every week in our service, we connect, we pause, we reflect, and we are fed. All of these things are essential to our lives and to our humanity. In communion, we come together as the body of Christ, eating and drinking bread and wine as we remember the ways in which Jesus lived, died, and rose again for us. This simple meal is the bread of life for those who hunger for meaning and community and God's presence in their lives. It's a means of God's grace, and it is something that connects us all to each other. And we typically commune on the day of the Sabbath, the day of rest, a way to begin the week remembering that we are beloved, that rest is part of being human, and that rest is a gift and commandment that God has given us. Rest is part of the rhythm of our lives, especially when we've been going and going. For those of you who will be starting term in a few weeks, have you taken time this summer just to be, just to listen? I feel like since COVID restrictions lifted, we have been trying to cram so much into our lives. Travel that was postponed, internships, experiences, and activities. In the midst of a time that feels busier than ever, God calls us to stop and rest. And God feeds us with the bread of life, not because we deserve it, not because we've earned it, just because we need it. Amen.